Welcome to Advance Your Wealth. I'm Matt Ackerman. I'm the Chief Content Officer at Integrated Partners. So excited to be joining this amazing video series today with the great team from Convergent, Homer Smith, and Dave Stuhling. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks so much for having me on the show with you guys today.
Thanks, Matt. Excited to have you on and talk about such an important subject today.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk about this noise that's going on. So much noise around tax and stimulus going on. I knew that there was a lot of this, and I was excited to learn from you both. So, Homer, maybe kick us off. Talk to us a little about the noise everyone's hearing around taxes and the stimulus right now.
Yeah, I think coming into the elections last year, there was a lot of noise around the potential tax increases that might come out of the Biden administration, and there were just a number of proposals, a number of ways that could go, and we're starting to see some clarity on that. And then some of the wild cards that have been thrown into the mix have been these various stimulus bills, and hidden inside a lot of these bills have been very intricate tax issues that, if you're not watching closely, could have a pretty significant impact on your tax situation or tax credits that you might have available to you. And so we wanted to just make sure that we were sharing some of the most important components we're seeing, and maybe talk about some ways our clients and those of you that are watching can start to deal with that and make sure that you're going to be protected as well as you can from these changes.
Dave, you are so knowledgeable on this. Tell me a little bit about some of the nuance, some of these details that you're seeing in both the tax and the stimulus packages.
Well, the recent stimulus package is interesting. The thresholds are around $150,000 of AGI. And what's different about this stimulus package is that the phase out ranges are tighter. They're almost cliff-like, meaning, items like Roth conversions or a little bit of extra income could lose you a significant amount of money if you're not paying attention to those key phase out ranges.
So, Homer, when you think about kind of that cliff that Dave is talking about, what does that mean, and how is this going to impact retirees?
Yeah, I think this, most people think about tax issues around, especially with the Biden administration, around that this is really going to impact high net worth individuals, high income individuals. But this stimulus issue that Dave brought up is really particular to, I would say, most, even just middle class retirees that might have significant IRA distributions they're required to take, or just reasonable amounts of income they're earning, and having just that tiny bit of additional income to lose, potentially, a few $1,000s in stimulus checks, or what we might think of them as tax credits, is a pretty significant impact to your overall situation. And so, we've already been doing research with a couple of our clients and have found multiple cases where, they're right on that edge. And just to Dave's point, making a mistake, or at least not paying attention to what's going on in your financial situation, could cost you pretty significantly.
So, Dave, if we were to dig a little deeper here and think about, we've been hearing for so long since the election that this Biden tax law changes would have a major impact. What are some of those key changes, and, what can we expect, not just for retirees, but for all clients?
Well, the potential changes are vast, and they include loss of the step up in basis at death, which is a considerable issue for a lot of higher net worth clients that have highly appreciated property that they were planning on passing to the next generation. Reductions in the gift and estate tax thresholds. Annual exclusion amounts are being discussed in terms of those amounts being reduced. 1031 exchanges of real estate are on the table, possibly not being available any longer. There's a whole swath of potential changes, not to mention higher capital gains rates, payroll taxes associated with capital gains for certain people, and just higher income tax rates across the board for people of probably on the higher marginal rate structure.
Homer, are you finding that clients are concerned right now? Are you getting a lot of folks raising their hand and worried when they hear all this noise about the tax plan and the implications it could have on them and their retirement savings?
Yeah, they are concerned, and it's something we've been talking about with them since last year in the fall, as we saw, things potentially playing out this way, and starting to talk them through, some of these areas that we're going to have to be focused on this year. And so they are concerned, and we're definitely starting to go, pretty deep with each of our clients on starting to map out, what that might need to look like for them as we come later this year, because a lot of these changes, if they come into effect, are most likely to take effect next year, but we never know with that. So it's important to start the planning as soon as possible.
Starting that planning as soon as possible is critical. Dave, are you having conversations with clients? Are they also saying that some concerns that they're having on this subject too?
Well, there's a lot of different concerns, especially with wealth transfer strategies. I think that's the biggest issue going forward. Doesn't look like there will be clawbacks, but like Homer said, we just don't know. Going back to the stimulus package, it's complicated because you essentially get three chances for some of these tax credits. So there's quite a bit of planning for the remainder of the year between the taxes that you already have filed, the taxes you're going to be filing this year, and then your 2021 taxes. They all affect the stimulus and child tax credits. So it gets quite confusing, and it'll be something that we're going to talk about for probably the next couple of years.
So Homer, if I'm a client, I've heard this, I've heard all the noise out there, I'm wary, I'm concerned, what's a good next step for them?
Yeah, if you've seen our video series, we've touched on this a number of times, this idea of a stress test and scenario planning, and taking a look at the entire picture. Most people think of wealth managers, financial advisors, of just focusing on your investment portfolio. Really, what's most important from our point of view is really digging into the advanced planning. Look at wealth enhancement, which is all around taxes and how can we help you review those opportunities. Wealth transfer, which is all about estate planning and making sure your heirs are taken care of. Wealth protection, just protecting your assets from being unduly taken, and finally charitable giving strategies. And all of those really come into play with these tax issues we're speaking to. On the stimulus side, it's, if we can help you really navigate your cash flow and kind of current year tax planning, we can get you eligible, or we can help you make sure you're eligible for these benefits. On the flip side, as these tax law changes occur on the estate planning side, is really help you map out and do some various scenarios on what might happen in your situation, and help walk through some of those strategies that could make a difference for your family over the long run. So it's really all about taking a look at that bigger picture and then going really deep on the advanced planning areas.
Gentlemen, some amazing insights today. I know I've gained a wealth of knowledge. Thank you both so much.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.